Fog Entertainment back again with our video, and we are looking at Was Pine Barrens the beginning of the end for Paulie and Tony's hands? Hands? His eyes. His big eyes. His eyes are bigger than his stomach. Well, maybe not in Tony Soprano's case because his stomach is pretty huge, damn it, but it is a Sopranos Season 3 theory, and the votes are in, and 89% of you guys have voted yes, while 11% of you have voted no. And for me, I think it was the beginning of the end for Paul. I think you've seen throughout this episode Tony's frustrations building and building and building up. Even though there was a bit of miscommunication in the phone calls due to the signal, they're out in the middle of nowhere. But it was a simple task. Silvio's got the flu, so Paulie, you and Chris, go pick up his 5k and get the job done. And I think he even knew that it was pretty much Paulie's fault and not Chris. I think he knew that. And plus, the fact that he asked Paulie to go and not Chris is the difference maker there. That's why he's got the beef with Paulie. And then when Paulie tried to dob Chris in it, I think Tony realised when, Chris backed Paulie up in the back of the SUV when Bobby and Tony picked him up at the end of the episode. I think Tony realised that. And, it's not just us here on Fog Entertainment that think that in the comments. Everyone I think does it. I looked at it on Reddit, and some guy said on Reddit is, Pine Barrens is where Tony starts to lose faith in Paulie. He says, I love the episode, I don't care what happened to Valerie. David Chase didn't need to wrap everything up for us, and it's a big part of why this show is amazing. Anyhow, I think it's the start of Tony losing confidence in Paulie. Up until then, Paulie was reliable, trustworthy. He fucked up here in a major way by not guaranteeing Valerie was dead, jeopardising Tony's relationship with Slava, but also he took a relatively simple collection and ended up a disaster. I'm not sure Tony would have rescued him if Christopher hadn't been there. Tony told Paul at the end that he owned the decision to go home, and he'd have to deal with any consequences. I don't think the relationship was ever the same. Furio, Silvio, and even Benny would have collected the 5k and come home. Yeah, and then the other comment at the bottom kind of sums up as well. Guy couldn't even wipe fucking mayonnaise off his face without the boss telling him to. Disgusting. Yeah, after all he's done, kill a top guy, go on an absolute botch fest of a collection. The final nail in the coffin was getting mayonnaise on his chin and Tony having to tell him to wipe it. And it is, it's just, Paulie's a fucking tool. And then throughout the whole episode, he's crying about whose fault it is. Oh, it's Tony, why isn't he here? Or Silvio, who cares if he's got a bit of a man flu, he should be here. And then he tries to pin it on Christopher. How about you just own your own mistakes? And I mean, Paulie's a good character in The Sopranos, but he's a cunt. And I don't think you're actually really supposed to like him now. Is he a funny guy? Yes, but he's got no personal connection with anyone. He doesn't have family. He's just a guy, a made guy who goes around killing people, and 99% of the time does it in a fucking disastrous fashion. Kills Mikey Palmas while he's getting stung. Here, this is an absolute disaster. And then any other attempts, even Ralph, he's like, Ralph's like, I'll be late twice a week, but you'll be stupid forever. Fucking rinsed him with that comment, backhand across the head. Then he gave up a few things for Tony's crew, and thought that Carmine was going to let him in. The Carmine didn't even know who he was. Honestly, Paulie, man, this was the beginning of the end for him, guys. But anyway, Tony lost faith. Did you guys lose faith? Leave it in the comments down below, guys. But anyway, till next time, Fog Entertainment signing out.